Right now at 4:30, the family of a Charlotte High School student are demanding a thorough investigation into an alleged attack that they are calling a hate crime. We first told you about it at the top of the hour.
Started like 10 days ago, and he was eyeballing her, and he was trying to, in a way, intimidate her. And then it started calling her words, and it led to this. He chased her to the hallway after she left, because when he hit her in the back of the head, she walked out of the class.
The student's family says they are disappointed with how CMS is handling this situation. District leaders tell Queen City News they will deal with infractions accordingly. Joining me now is Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. And Khalif, there's a little bit more as far as the story and talking about why this would become a level of a hate crime investigation and talk about some of the things that were said in this attack. Tell us what brings it to that level.
Well, I watched the press conference. I saw the family. I mean, and obviously we're learning more as we go along. This is something that they said happened last week, but we're all figuring out that this happened over the last few days. And so as CMPD does their investigation, as the CMS does their investigation, as all the folks try to figure out, well, what actually happened, we know that there was a couple things happened. This young lady was assaulted. There will be sides that attempt to say that this was some type of fight. There were some folks that will say this was some type of attack. And in determining what happened, if it was a fight, it could still go down the road of a hate crime. But if it was an attack, then it can definitely go down the road of a hate crime. And let's be clear. For any charge that a person is charged with, there has to be elements. If you're talking about assault and battery, I've either assaulted you by hitting you or putting you in a place of imminent bodily fear where you think I'm about to hit you. That's in North Carolina enough for me to charge you with that type of crime. But now if we're talking about hate, it's a misnomer because we're not saying I actually hate you. It's saying that I have some type of bias towards you. So it's not that I have to be angry.
She's of Middle Eastern descent
frustrated
with some of the things that are claimed to have been said.
Right, and so that you have to, for it to be under a hate crime, they have to have a bias against you. And they have to have a bias against what? It's either going to be race, disability, ethnicity, or religion. And so in this situation, the family is making the allegation that this was an attack that wasn't this because I don't like you, but because I don't like where you're from. There were allegations and statements made during a press conference that the individual said, go back to your country. All of those things, when you ask the question of how do you get towards the level of hate crime, you're looking for factors like that. Not only do I meet the elements of the underlying charge, but do I also have something that says that I don't or I dislike or have a dislike towards where this person is from, who they are, their origin, their race, their religion, some type of protected class.
Yeah, and with this thing happening in class, there's a lot of other witnesses there. The Ardrey Kell there, the high school, Mecklenburg school leaders say they followed the proper guidelines in tracking this incident.
Well, this is an ever-evolving situation, not just with this situation here, but with just CMS in general. Recently, they talked about how they would communicate with parents, and I'm a parent, have 4 within the system. And so I get the notifications from the school district when things happen. But they've talked about making sure that process is more transparent, that it's more fluid, that we're finding and seeing things in real time. What I recognize in this situation is they can always learn from situations like this because I didn't even know this happened until we all started reporting on it. Now, if it was a fight, most parents wouldn't know. But if it was an attack, and if it was an attack based on race, then yes, you would want something from a school-wide notice sent out so that all parents know this is a situation that happened and this is how we're dealing with it. In terms of the other folks that were in the room, that will just go towards the hate crime, either elevation or not. If folks were in the room and they witnessed the statements, they heard those types of things, that it was statements that going back to your country, making derogatory statements based on race, then it would also lead and amplify this type of charge from going from a standard traditional just charge to a hate crime.
All right, it's something we will certainly keep following, especially with this case starting to get a lot more notoriety. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thanks.